Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome to a brand new BBC Micro Let's Play. Let's see if I can find the game that I need to find and play today. Which thankfully I am. And there's a familiar company name, sort of. Virgin Games. They bring us Checkout by Mike Cook, published in 1984. You are on a 7x7 grid, 49 tiles throughout, and you have to step on all the tiles twice while avoiding the drone that is flying around in the middle of the field, as well as its laser. That's pretty much it. And you do this for however long you can. The game doesn't really tell you this. Instead, it just tells you how to get points. If you find the magic square before 30 seconds runs out, then you will get the chance to score bonus points. The bonus points are shown in the box in the bottom right-hand corner. Press the space bar to stop the bonus points on a high number. And there's our controls. Z for left, X for right, colon for up, and backslash for down. S and Q turn the sound on and off respectively. K and J switch between the keyboard and the joystick respectively. Copy pauses, delete continues, or unpauses. And the game tells you that you can also use a joystick. Press spacebar to continue. Let's. And from here we're going to start the game. So it's kind of like Boing, kind of like Cubert. You want to avoid this drone that is flying around all throughout the board, while also avoiding its laser. Your score is in the top along with your current amount of lives. To the left is the hourglass. When the hourglass runs off, that's when the laser shoots. So you don't want to run out of sand on the hourglass there. Best place to hide and I got 18 points out of that. To the right is a gauge full of red bars, and if you fill that up, you will enter the second loop of the game, where the bars will be blue, and the hourglass does not even have close to as much sand as it usually does. And I am not liking this at all. And I walked right into the laser because I thought it would switch directions there. That was bad. That was really bad. And whenever you die, the colors of the background, the tiles, and even the text all changes. There's a timer down there in the lower left-hand corner. That's a timer for the magic square. If you step on a certain square, it is possible to get a bunch of bonus points. And that square that was in the lower right-hand corner with the 3 numbers that was constantly changing, you had to keep pressing spacebar to land on high numbers, so that way you get a high amount of bonus points. I only got 18 points because I was not paying attention. And I did not even complete a single level, and I did not get away from that in time. And, well, at least we managed to get a high score, so let's go ahead and enter our name and try this again. Now that I don't have to explain stuff anymore, which is always good. So, you definitely don't want to be in the path of the drone at all. You don't want to be where it's going to go, or where it's about to go, rather. And you also don't want to move directly into its path, because if you do, it's going to be really bad for you. And thankfully, it ended up being less than bad for me. Okay. And that's what happens when you step on every tile twice. You get a whole bunch of flashing, you get one more bar on the gauge to the right, and then you do another level. As for the lasers, the best way to avoid them is to stay in the corners when you notice that the... Nice. When you see that the hourglass is about to run out like that, that's when you get to the corners, because the area just outside of the edges is where the drone is going to hang out at all times. And when you know that, it's easier to avoid running into the drone. And hey, what do you know? We did it again. And the more bars we have, the more extra points we have at the end of a stage. Which is always good. The drone will reverse direction every so often. Keep that in mind for when you need to get away from the droid or drone or whatever it is that the thing is called. And we got an extra life at 10,000 points, which I'm actually quite proud of. I'm actually quite proud of that. I did not think I would do that. And there we go again. We've completed our third level now. Now we're going on to our fourth. It is possible to run into the path of the drone and get hit right then and there. And it is possible to run right into the laser as it's firing, which is also something you don't want to do. I talk about it and then I do it, because I am not very intelligent while trying to do a thing and explain it at the same time. In case it wasn't obvious enough. And nope. And it's also possible to just avoid the laser. Or just avoid being in the path of the droids or drone's movement. I'm going to keep using drone and droid just interchangeably because I'm playing a game and explaining things at the same time. And somehow I knew that was going to happen. I don't know how I managed to avoid that, but I did. But I still managed to complete our 4th level just the same. And I am doing a lot better now. So much better. So much better. I may not always hit the magic square like I'd want, and yeah, you want to make sure that the drone is off a tile completely before you move into it. And I couldn't avoid the drone that time. Well, the laser anyway. And it looks like I'm not getting another extra life anytime soon. Yikes. Now to see if I can actually avoid getting destroyed. That may not happen. Had no idea if I was going to get hit with the laser or not. That's why I was really just worried about whether or not I would get hit there. Come on. Alright, get over there. Finally. Alright, we are now at level 6. I don't know how many bars we need to fill up an entire gauge. I don't see myself doing that at all in this video. Just because of how this game can be. But I'm doing a lot better than I expected for this point. I will tell you that. Alright, let's wait here as I accidentally touch my own microphone. Get out of there. Excellent. Why did I stand there? Well, that's still not too bad. And I still wanted to spend... Weird. I still wanted to spend at least 10 minutes playing this game regardless, just to show how it is and how it can be. And it's a pretty interesting clone, or play-alike rather, of games like Boing for the Atari 2600, which I've played in the past, as well as Qbert for the arcade. The only difference is you have a completely flat 2D plane, 7x7, 49 tiles. You have this one enemy in the drone, which can be crafty and can give you a hard time. And things definitely get more difficult the more you play. Or at least there's a second loop where you have very little time on the hourglass and the drone just shoots lasers almost constantly. But other than that, not a bad game. Not a bad play-alike at all. You can definitely have some fun with this one. Graphics are pretty basic, yet still easily identifiable. Sound and music, well, you don't have any music here, but at least the sound is pretty arcadey. And pretty much what I expect for a game like this on the BBC Micro. The controls are pretty responsive. I didn't have any problems with them. And I didn't really see much in terms of coding errors in the game either. And as for replay value, again, just like with all of the arcade-style games for the BBC Micro that I played, your mileage may vary. But this is one you could easily find yourself spending more time with. I can say that much. Especially if you want to see if you can build that whole gauge up. Still, 28,331 points. That's not too bad. And finally, is it worth checking out? Is it worth playing? Absolutely, actually. It took a while to get used to how things were and how this game was, but once I did, it was a fun game. It was fun to try to figure things out and do things. Step on every tile twice, see if you can get the magic tile or magic square for a big amount of points. Avoiding the drone, just staying away from its general path and its lasers. Standing in the corners is the best way of doing so, because the lasers can't get there. And just trying to find a way to easily make it so that you can get every tile stepped on twice and you can complete the stage. Not much to it. Pretty simple game. Definitely one you can get into, again, if you played games like Qbert or Boing for the Atari 2600. But still a fun one. So, if you see this one, try it out. You'll be surprised by this one. Anyway, this has been Let's Play Crackout. Check out for the BBC Micro. Crackout is a completely different game, as far as I can tell. Hopefully I'll be back with another game. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be bad. Maybe it'll be somewhere in between. Who knows? Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care. Stay safe. Thanks for watching, and see y'all later.